All right, so I will just get started right away then and introduce myself. My name's Natalie, and I host the Insider Universe radio show at Fredonia with Carolyn Hope, who owns For the Punks, the music publication. And we feature all aspects of the music industry, both musicians, people who work in the background, videographers, photographers, graphic designers, journalists, and everybody in between. And we're super excited to have you guys on the show. So why don't you just start out by introducing yourselves? Who are you and what do you both do?
Yeah, so I'm Lexi, and I am one of the co-owners of Punkaganda Press. Lou.
I'm Lou. I'm also co-founder. I do illustration work. I do photography, and then I also do music journaling.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about Punkaganda Press. How did it come about, and what are the primary goals of the platform?
Punkaganda Press, basically, I've wanted to start a publication for myself since I was in high school, but I don't know, we never really went past the idea of saying yeah, let's make a publication, and just never really talked about it until one day we were like, you know what, let's do it. Let's sit down, let's come up with a name and the basic concept. And with the music industry, you see a lot of cis white males dominating it at this moment, and I think from the beginning, and you don't see a lot of BIPOC musicians and creators, photographers or writers, really in the scene. And we just wanted to make something that would predominantly feature BIPOC artists and give them a platform.
Yeah, that's awesome. There are definitely still very few opportunities for people who are non-gender conforming and female especially. So it's great that you guys have put this together and have been successful doing so. So who has been one of your favorite people to work with or feature on the publication, and why?
Oh my God. Here we go. Lou, I already know your answer.
Everyone already knows my answer. It's Pink Shift.
Yeah.
We love Pink Shift.
They're great. They're great. I'm going to see them later this month, actually.
Oh yeah, where?
Rochester, New York.
Sick. Yeah, I just saw them last night.
Oh really? Where were they last night?
They were playing at the Voodoo Room in the House of Blues in San Diego.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then on Friday or tomorrow, I get to see them in my hometown. So I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, that's super cool. They've been featured on the show before, so we'll probably feature them again this episode on Monday when the interview is aired.
Yeah,
nice.
But love Pink Shift. Why do you think people should pay attention to publications that support the music and entertainment industry? Why is journalism such an important aspect of the industry nowadays?
Dang, my brain is so fried right now.
I felt that.
Lou, do you want to take a crack at this one?
I guess just getting an honest review of different people, I guess. So people go to these publications like Punkaganda to get our honest take on these smaller groups. So they have something to look forward to listen to, I guess.
I feel like it also provides a platform for people who don't always get noticed. The industry is so, centralized towards people who have large followings and large fan bases. And for people who are just getting started, I feel like it's a great way for them to get their foot in the door to the industry and meet people and get their artwork out before, it's taken over by bigger artists. I feel like it gives a platform to smaller up-and-coming artists from different areas and stuff like that. So I think it's great. I write for the Punks, so I have experience on a team like you guys own.
Yeah, for sure. It's been cool because all the artists that we feature, they're all a part of the DIY scene. And so once we feature one band, they start interacting with another band that we have featured, and kind of like, you know, going back to that idea of growing contacts and getting their foot in the door. So it's so cool to see them like interact with each other on the timeline, and we're like, wow, the besties.
Yeah, yeah, that is cool. That is really cool. And it gives the people who write and put the features together an opportunity to network and meet people as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So can you talk about some of the benefits of being on a publication team? I guess we kind of just touched on it, networking and that kind of stuff, but can you think of anything else that you've personally taken away from being on the Punkaganda Press team or working alongside other journalists?
Well, yeah, like of course networking is one of the big ones, but building that personal relationship with either publicists or band members and everything in between, including like photographers and writers and stuff. It's like it's really nice to put it. It's more than just like a business kind of venture, I guess. It's you're building like a personal connection with them, and I really like that a lot. And also, just I'm a photographer myself, and being able to you know, grow my own platform myself by getting into these shows through the publication, it's really cool. And yeah, I don't know, I love it.
For sure, yeah. What does it feel like to be a home for an amazing variety of creators? So like, I feel like a publication is home for a lot of people who are up and coming and that kind of stuff. So what does it feel like to be a safe place for people who don't always get noticed?
Ooh, I feel like I talk too much.
I never thought of that way, honestly, but makes my heart very happy. But it's cool that we can like give this little space for people like send their stuff in, because I know like other publications that just focus on like bigger artists, and specifically like cishet white men, they might feel too intimidated to like put their stuff out. But with us, you can just send us anything, and we're like, okay, let us listen to this, and usually it's very good. So
Yeah,
I'm glad we
sure.
can like have that space where people can just come, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not too many rules or, you know, anything
Exactly.
specific you're looking for. It's kind of open-ended and open to anybody who's interested. So I think that's one of the big things about being featured on a publication such as Punkaganda or For the Punks or any of those places. I feel like it's very wide open to anybody.
Yeah.
What part of owning or working for a publication do you find the most challenging and why?
Just kind of like I guess curating everything, because we do a lot of things. You know, we have our playlist, and having to create the promotional things for like our social media when we release an article, and then also trying to I guess email like for photo passes for our photographers, because I think we have like 30 photographers on our team at this very moment. So when they request shows or want me to email for them, I'm just like nonstop emailing all these publicists and bands and managers. And then also with our writers, we get tons of PR emails a day, and it gets really overwhelming sometimes, because, you know, contrary to popular belief, I listen to every single band that emails us. If I don't respond, it's either like we are too like booked for the month, or it's having our writers trying to pick up like more than one project. So I just think that the influx of just press is hard to keep up with in general, but you know, keep sending it, please.
Yeah, for sure. No, pros and cons of being so open-ended, I guess. You get anybody and everybody who's interested. So it goes both ways. You can get overwhelmed with it, but it's also you're trying so hard to feature everybody who wants to be featured. Like, completely understand.
Yeah, exactly.
How big is your team in total?
I think our team, because we have some new members that I have to go through their applications. So I think at this very moment, it's about 42. I think we have 13 or 12 writers, and the rest are photographers, I think.
You got a lot of photographers.
I know.
Lots
Some of
people
them are
probably-
temporary. Like some of them just want to shoot like a couple shows for the magazine, but it's like, you can't always guarantee photo passes for people, especially being like a new publication. So yeah, that's where they come from.
And I mean, it's probably beneficial to have lots of people in different areas to catch different shows. You're not always going to be able to be at everything. So
yeah, for sure. Like a bunch of DIY bands right now, they're like doing little shows. And of course, some of them aren't able to tour like across, like, let's say they're from the East Coast. They can't like come to the West Coast because they don't have like a big enough, reach over there. So it's definitely cool when these DIY bands, they play hometown shows and we have a photographer like in that specific state or area, and we can send them out on like an assignment to go shoot the show because like, Lou and I can't be there personally.
yeah, exactly. That's great. What is the most rewarding part about owning Punkaganda and working for the publication?
Honestly, like the personal relationships that we built, like like Pink Shift, our all-time favorite that we've featured off of the magazine. Dude, they've been there since the beginning, and just getting to see them perform live, like I saw them last week too. I've been to all the California shows.
Yeah.
I'm insane. But that personal relationship and like, for example, just getting to see them perform live and talking to them like after the show, it's like I know them, like they feel like I've known them for years, and it's really cool to see them, and just that part in general, those personal relationships is definitely my number one like benefit.
I love seeing the different bands that we like feature just like grow, especially like with Pink Shift. Like when they were announced for Sad Summerfest, I was like, yo, chill. But like seeing them grow and then like build their own like communities is really fun too.
Yeah, that's awesome for sure. So you guys touched a bit on diversity in the industry and featuring different groups of people and people with different backgrounds. So what do you guys think the key is to more inclusion in the industry? I feel like now we're taking steps in the right direction, but it's still not 100%. So what do you both feel is the key to including more people in the industry and providing opportunities for more people?
Honestly, like, these bigger bands need to include more BIPOC, LGBTQ plus in like bands or, single musicians on their lineups, because I'm getting tired of seeing all like white male bands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like, honestly, we are taking steps in the right direction in, being more inclusive and, having a more open scene. There are definite like things that we need to, change to, create a bigger, more inclusive scene going forward. But honestly, I feel like if we keep doing what we're doing, we should be able to, have these artists break more barriers in the music industry.
Yeah, no, for sure. I 100% agree. I feel like people's teams are starting to change and become more inclusive, but there's still always room for more people, more diversity on people's teams, more like positions that are more commonly male dominated need to become more inclusive and more diverse. And I'm super excited to see how the industry continues to bring this together and kind of include everybody in everything.
Yeah, and it's cool, like even for the punks too, like I know that your guys' team is really diverse as well. And also like, I mean, I'm non-binary, but seeing women and like also non-binary individuals killing it in the scene, like with Girls Behind the Rock show and stuff, and seeing more groups like that emerging, it really makes my heart happy because, you know, when I was young, I wanted to, I mean, I'm still young, but like when I was like in my teens, I wanted to be a part of the music industry, but it was always just like something that was, I guess, like a taboo subject for a Hispanic, like female at the time to, you know, be something big in the music industry. So I guess like starting Punkaganda is like my little foot in the door as well. And of course for Lou too.
Yeah, for sure.
I
No,
think
it's great.
also like,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
sorry. I think also like just like having our team like being so diverse, like our writers and our photographers also gets a foot in the door from them as well.
Yes.
And I think like one of the main, I guess, issues that needs to be resolved within the industry is like changing who's like behind the scenes, I guess, because right now we're kind of like pushing more like diverse artists, like musicians, but I think where it stems from is like who is like putting these artists in the places they need to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. It's all who's in charge. It all depends on who's the one calling the shots.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like now I'm starting to see a bunch of like bigger publications like for example Alt Press pushing all these different diverse artists. Like I guess Nightlife was featured in Alt Press, Pink Shift of course, and a bunch of other ones. And I'm like, wow, like, you know, I'm only used to seeing them feature, you know, the popular big pop
For
punk, you
real.
know, rock bands. So it's really cool to see like bands that we know and that we featured and that we talk to on our timeline sometimes to be featured in big publications like that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm working for the student record label on my college campus this semester as an A&R representative, and we sign a certain number of artists per year to work with a record label. And this year it is all male artists except for mine. And so I
What the hell?
have taken the initiative. I'm working with a female identifying solo artist, and she is the only female identifying person that we signed this year.
That's insane. But props to you for going with an all-female artist. That's, you know, big, but
Just goes
I
to
can't
show that like
believe everyone else.
it's the industry is evolving and changing, but there's still plenty of room to grow. And just, you know, that's just an example of how I'm working currently for a student run record label, and it's still very male identifying person heavy.
Yeah.
So who is somebody that inspires the two of you, and how do you use their inspiration in your current work?
Lou, if you want to go first, let me think
Say
about
who inspires us?
Yeah.
Pink Shift. I don't know. Yeah, for real, Pink Shift. Excuse me.
No.
Probably Hansel. Honestly, they're doing so much and pushing so many like diverse bands forward, and like working with like smaller like diverse bands, and seeing them like specifically like work with them and uplift them is kind of cool.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And then just the stuff they're doing, like, you know.
Yeah, and for me, I think it's Jer. They're the drummer from Sonderbombs, and they also run Lost and like Found touring. And that's what I'm really trying to get into is PR and then like tour management and tour booking and stuff. So seeing them kill it and like booking all these tours for smaller bands and just like absolutely, you know, allowing these smaller bands to have a platform and tour, it's so cool and inspiring to see, and I definitely want to get there one day.
For sure. Yeah. That's a great industry
killing it
too. I think that would be really cool. So just to wrap things up, I've got 2 more questions. What advice would you give to somebody who is looking to break into the industry or join a publication team? Do you have any tips or ideas for them? Any advice?
Honestly, dang, just keep pushing through. Like there will be hindrances with breaking into the scene. I have experienced many. I've experienced so much discrimination as a non-binary Hispanic concert photographer, but you just have to keep pushing through. And I know it's easier said than done, but eventually it will pay off. And if you are having no luck with the publications, come shoot me a message and we can talk about it and all that stuff. But yeah. Lou?
I say just like go for it. Like if there's a publication you specifically want to shoot for, just apply, and it doesn't go right, just work, do portfolio work, like just work on yourself. Because I feel like at one point you're gonna get where you need to go, but like they're gonna wish they hired you. Once they see what you're capable of. That's what I learned through Punkaganda, really. Because like before we made Punkaganda, there was so many different like outlets I wanted to like work for, and they're like really small too. But I was never given that opportunity, and I know like right now they're probably looking at me like, "Damn, we should have let them on the team."
Yeah, like
So,
Lou and I worked for a small publication, and I actually got to shoot for them, I think like twice before COVID hit. But yeah, you just honestly have to keep working. And I feel like we can relate more to concert photographers because that's what we are like physically doing on our own personal time. So I guess for like the concert photographers is that, you know, it's hard. You have to start from the bottom up. And you know what? I mean, I don't consider it the bottom because I love all these DIY bands and shooting for them, and their energy on stage is like so insane that it's fun. I prefer shooting DIY bands, but in order to get on those big tours, you got to start somewhere. And yeah, so just keep going through, and you are going to get denials for photo passes and stuff, but honestly it has nothing to do with skill level. It's just, I don't know, they're going to wish they hired you. Yeah, going back to Lou,
yep.
what Lou said, they're literally going to look back and wish that they hired you. So yeah,
There's a starting point for everybody.
exactly.
I feel like there's room for everybody in the industry. So lastly, you guys have grown so much in the past year, and we're super excited to see where Punkaganda goes and how the two of you keep growing. So what are your goals for the next year? What can we look forward to?
Lou, you want to like announce it, bestie?
should we say?
Should we say it? Yes, I think we should.
All right. Well, we're looking to print our first physical magazine, hopefully by the end of December or beginning of December.
That is super exciting. That's awesome.
Yes. I'm so excited. We're like,
So,
Lou has been working super hard on the sketches, and we're just planning out the content right now. So hopefully it will be done by December, end of December, or going into the new year. But yeah.
That's super cool. We will definitely be on the lookout for the physical copy of the magazine.
Hell yeah.
So how can our audience connect with you guys? Social media, the Punkaganda Press website, what are those? How do we connect with you?
Yeah, so if you are a artist that would like to be featured on Punkaganda, you can hit up our email at punkagandapress@gmail.com. If you just want to check out our social medias, it's at Punkaganda Press on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you would like to connect with Lou and I personally, my Twitter @ is at Cemetery Wedding, and my Instagram @ is _@ Cemetery Wedding. Lou, you can plug your stuff.
my Twitter is altpunk, but with no U, on Twitter and Instagram. So
Awesome.
that's where you can find me.
Thank you both for joining me today. I'm super excited to have you guys on the show and be a part of the Insider Universe little team. So thank you again for your time. and I really appreciate it, and I love getting to know you.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I'm so glad that we finally got to do this
Yeah, of
after
course.
so many like challenges of our schedules.
I know time differences are hard, and I'm a student and I work and busy
Oh, I
schedules,
feel
but
you.
I'm
Me
super happy
too.
we were able to fit it in.
Yes.
The interview will be aired on Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So if you want to hear it live, I will. If you go over to our Instagram, it's IO Universe, IO Universe Show on Instagram, and the link to listen is in our bio. But I will also be releasing the recording in some way after the live portion is aired. So it'll be on our YouTube channel most likely.
Okay. I think my computer froze. Yo.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know if you heard anything that I said before.
I heard something about it being on YouTube.
Yeah, that's also what I heard.
So it'll be aired live on Monday night Eastern time, using the link in our Instagram bio, and then I will be putting it on YouTube after it's aired live at some point.
Okay.
I will let you know when that goes up.
Sick.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But thank you guys again, and I will definitely be keeping in touch.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah, of course. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.